Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Renee Box Young, a platform where we simply discuss, critique, analyze, and simply talk about the sport of boxing in a level-headed, mature fashion. That's all we do here. If you love the sport of boxing, this is a place for you, definitely. If anybody's not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks so much, subscribers since day one, recent subscribers. I just appreciate all your support, the flash lives that we've been doing, the premieres I'm pushing. Hit the notification bell so you know when I do my flash lives, spontaneous lives out of nowhere, so you know when I do my lives. Unfortunately, man, community's been telling me, several family members, you are family, what I'm saying, have been telling me in comments and stuff like that in the lives that they haven't been receiving the notifications for some reason. I don't know why. Unfortunately, that seems like that's an issue with several platforms out there. So, it is what it is, man. Try to, I'm kind of, and I've been telling them, try to deactivate the notification bell and reactivate it and see if that works. But who knows, right? But hit the notification bell, what I'm saying, so when I go live. And, constantly, tune into the channel, check the content and the activity of the channel. I constantly push content and go live. So, you'll pop in eventually if you don't get the notification. And you'll get the rhythm of when I do it, what I'm saying? But I appreciate you all. And I want to talk about, man, Canelo. This whole situation with Plant and Canelo. I went live recently talking about this, saying that, it seems like, I don't know if Plant is stalling, but apparently, we're going to get into this. I want to show you some articles, a couple articles, and I want to kind of merge a couple topics, concerning Canelo, all right? And, it sounds like, ever since this whole, everybody knows the plan. Everybody knows the Canelo plan. He wants to be undisputed at 168. And just to start this whole thing out, many times when it comes to Canelo talk, people just flip it off, turn it off. Completely don't want to talk about him. They detest him or whatever. Some people detest him because he popped dirty years ago. What I'm saying? The trajectory he has had in the sport of boxing concerning, it looks like he picks and chooses certain opponents that are vulnerable. That's the reputation he generally has. Let's just put that aside. I'm saying? I just want to objectively talk about, this whole situation with Canelo at 168 and his, goal, his objective that he has, in being undisputed at 168, which I respect definitely, man. And I got to make this clear. I have criticized Canelo concerning those things that, we just mentioned right now a moment ago that I just mentioned. But I appreciate what he does in the ring, man. I definitely love seeing him fight, just like every other fighter I love seeing fight. What I'm saying? I love seeing Anthony Joshua fight, even though he has a trajectory that's quite shady, in my humble opinion, that can be criticized. What I'm saying? I just like seeing him fight. Dillian Whyte, I watched, the first fight against Povetkin. I watched the second fight against Povetkin. I watched Dillian Whyte when he fought Anthony Joshua years ago. I mean, I see these fighters fight. I don't necessarily appreciate Dillian Whyte and his loudmouth and the way he's going about in the sport, crying, whining, and pouting. And he doesn't step up to fight these top guys. The only guy he fought top was Anthony Joshua, and at that time, it was years ago. But I do like watching them fight. And Dillian Whyte tested positive, dirty, cheating. What I'm saying? B sample. They swept it under the rug, and politics came in the bit. In the mix, and Eddie Hearn with his dirty ways. I mean, it is what it is, and I watch them fight though. I watch them fight. I love the sport of boxing. And let's just put. That's what I'm trying to say here. We got to grow into a more open mind when it comes to certain fighters. Like, I understand Canelo tested positive. I understand, his trajectory. But I do like watching him fight, man. Just like I like watching all these other guys fight. I love the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? So I want to talk generally about this, okay? So everybody knows the story with Canelo's objective in being undisputed at 168. Caleb Plant knew this all along. Everybody knows it. I mean, everybody knows this, okay? There's nothing to hide here. Ever since he went to Caleb Smith, Yildirim, Billy Joe Saunders, Plant is next. He knew it. for one reason or another, Plant pulled out, and I understand to a certain degree why he pulled out in one of them. You know, it was a short notice and what have you, and I know that's a controversial thing, but it is what it is. You know, I understand Plant in that sense. If I'm not mistaken, he pulled out twice, and now in this one, or Plant didn't pull out twice in a potential Canelo fight before. It was once, and it was because it was a short notice, like a 4-week notice. I don't remember how long it was, but it was very short. So I understand. I get it. But now this is the thing I get here. This is the thing that kind of picks at me, man. This is the opportunity of a lifetime for Caleb Plant. Right now at this point, I see Plant to a certain degree. It's different. I know each person and each situation is different for fighters. I'm starting to see him as Jermall Charlo to a certain degree. No, not in the saying he would knock out Canelo and things like that. No, because Jermall Charlo said that about Benavidez, things like that. No, I'm not in that sense. In the sense of opponents, in the sense of the caliber of opponents he's been facing. The Mike Lees, the Ustakatis, the Fegan Butts, the Fegan Buttses. However you pronounce that guy's name, with all due respect, that's not. It's time to step up. That's my perspective now as of recently, the Truaxes. I mean, that stuff's not cutting it anymore. For me as a boxing fan, I'm speaking for me, okay, as a boxing fan. Everyone knows the story now. I don't want to say it like this, but it seems like now I'm kind of looking at Plant kind of like Bud Crawford. No, I know it's not the same situation. Oh, Bud's undisputed at 140. Yeah, no. Let's put that aside. I'm talking about Bud in the welterweight division. Let's get that straight. Andrade. I mean, I'm getting to the point. It's kind of like Plant. Please, man, don't put any. He's asking for $10 million. We all know the story. Sources coming out, articles coming out saying, well, technically Plant isn't really worth $10 million, with all due respect, concerning a fight against Canelo. Bring it down a little bit, Plant. Be a little bit more reasonable here, because look at his opponents. I mean, it's like, all due respect, I understand he has the belt. Plant's a champ. I've given Plant so many props throughout the years, but now it's to the point where it's like, okay, Plant, you got to step up, man. You didn't get the Benavidez. You didn't fight Benavidez. Now you got the Canelo fight in front of your face. Now it's time to capitalize. Now, I talked about this recently, man. I think it was on my last live, or I think it was when I made the Manny Pacquiao video I just pushed recently. I just don't remember which one it was, but I talked about, I understand, man. I've said this before, that it's hard to make fights, man. I mean, in this day and age of politics and the business of boxing, it's hard for fighters to make a fight. It's not as easy as it looks, okay? It's not as easy as it looks, and it's kind of sad for fighters, man. When it comes to that, with the politics and the business, promoters, A side, B side, blah, blah, blah. It's hard. It's not as easy. And we're getting information of this. Let's get right to it, man. I want to get right to this. This is on what article is this? I don't even remember, man. This is so many articles. badlefthook.com. You link in the description of what we're going to see. Okay. It says here, let me just go ahead and arrange that for you so you can see it a little bit more. Sorry about that. Okay, so we got here, it says negotiations to stage Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant hit a sticking point. Okay, so we're going to scroll down just to see what's going on. I'm not going to read everything. I want to be concise about it. It says, according to their sources and Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn, okay, earlier it says Ring TV reports that talks to stage a 168-pound fight between Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant have hit a snag. According to their sources in Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn, PBC are in. Okay, so according to them, though, okay, Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn and Ring TV. Okay, so PBC are interested in having Canelo make a multi-fight commitment to fight on their platform, on PBC's platform, in order to make the Plant bout, as mentioned by Hearn during a DAZN boxing show. So, I mean, I think the DAZN boxing show, I think they're referring to that guy that looks like Drake. I don't know. I never watch it, so I don't know. He looks like Drake or something. But, yeah, I think you're talking about that. we got to understand, man, I've said it time and time again that, we can't really trust Hearn what he says. According to Hearn, okay, PBC wants to make a multi-fight deal with Canelo they want to oblige him to a multi-fight deal in order to try to lure Canelo to a PBC. It's like a condition to fight Plant. According to Hearn, according to Hearn. So let's continue here. It says, PBC would prefer to do a 3-fight deal. So we'll continue reading there. With Canelo Alvarez, he stated, this is their opportunity to try and allure him to the network. I feel like Caleb Plant shouldn't be a pawn in this. Caleb Plant is a guy that should get the best deal and the best opportunity for this fight. But unfortunately, that's boxing, but we'll see where it goes. So that's according to Hearn, and that's according to, that source, whatever. That PBC is trying to do that to make this Canelo Plant undisputed at 168 bout go down, to happen. Now this is the thing, man. I'm sure you've seen it. They're talking about now, if this fight doesn't go through, the Caleb Plant Canelo fight doesn't go through, for all this, politics or whatever. And Eddie Hearn's right in what he said in this respect. He said, hey, that's boxing. Unfortunately, that's boxing, in my humble opinion. Unfortunately, I say, because the politics, these silly politics, and all this kind of stuff, it prevents great fights from happening. And I think humbly that Canelo versus Plant is a great fight, man. This is a great fight. And now they're talking about, if that fight doesn't go through, then Triple G's next. Or Triple G will replace Plant. They're gonna opt for Triple G. I talked about this recently in live. I said that, the time's ticking. The clock is ticking. What's Plant doing? He's real quiet. Everybody, checking out the social media on, Canelo being back in the gym. He says back in the gym, something like that, and he's sitting there working out, whatever. And then Plant responds, indirectly to Canelo, and he says, Ben in the gym, something like that. So what are you trying to say? Are you going to do it? What's going on? These subtle messages by Plant. I mean, I want to hear something, as most of the boxing community does. We want to hear tangible information. I'm getting impatient, as you can tell. Okay? I'm getting impatient. And it looks like, the clock is ticking. September is around the corner. So something, according to Hearn this week, which I said it's hard to believe, Hearn, but whatever. According to him, this week there should be something announced official now. I really hope it's Plant, because if it's not, they're talking about Triple G trilogy. And this is why you see what I did in the thumbnail. If that's the case, ladies and gentlemen, if that's the case, you see how I'm melding a couple things into one in this video. If that's the case, if Plant, for whatever reason, doesn't fight Canelo, okay? Canelo's going to smash Triple G, man. He's going to smash him. I made this similar thumbnail when I wasn't as advanced in my thumbnail skills. Months and months and months ago, man, I made a video talking about Triple G is going to get smashed by Canelo in a trilogy. And I definitely stand on it much more now, because look at Triple G's condition right now. Look at it. Look at how he performs. He's super out of his prime now. What's the point of a Canelo Triple G trilogy? For fans, I'm talking about for fans. I think some of the point would be justified in the eyes of several fans out there. Why? Because a lot of people say, Triple G won the first fight and he won the second fight and he got robbed and blah, blah, blah. I think humbly Canelo won the second fight, okay, the rematch. First fight, okay, if I remember correctly, it was long ago. I forgot, man. I think it was a draw. Okay, it was a draw. Canelo comes back, boxes out Triple G in the second fight. I think he boxed him out. That's my humble opinion. I think Canelo won quite clearly. Okay? And I think it would be justified in the eyes of those fans that say, no, he got robbed in the rematch, and, he really won the first fight, Triple G. And, it's like, fine. If you want to see the Triple G, just watch him get smashed. Canelo's going to be freaking Hulk angry, Green Hulk, as you see in the thumbnail. He's going to smash his opponent. He's going to smash Triple G, man. Canelo doesn't like Triple G. He's tired of hearing him. He's tired of hearing Triple G. Oh, I want my trilogy. I was robbed and this and that. You know, stop crying. Yeah, I just don't buy it from fighters that make these excuses. You know, I think that Canelo won clearly in the second fight, and I just don't understand why. I don't know if it's Canelo, but I think it's more Hearn trying to push the Triple G Canelo trilogy. But I'm not excited about it if that happens. And that's a big dud. It's a big dud. What is Canelo going to do? Move down to 160? Is Triple G going to move up to 168? I don't know. I don't really care about, who's going to move up, who's going to move. I don't care about that. Because I'm almost positive Triple G is going to get smashed by Canelo. I think Canelo is most likely going to knock out Triple G. Who wants to see something that we know who's going to win? Who wants to see something where we know where it's clear cut who's going to win? I don't. And go ahead and comment. If you're watching the premiere, go ahead and put in the chat there in real time. What do you think? I don't care if you're a Triple G fan. That's great. This is a platform where you speak your mind. You know what I mean? You open up. You can opinionate. You can opinionate. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that over emotional stuff where if you ride for Canelo, oh you Canelo this and that. If you ride for Triple G, you do what you want. I don't care. As long as it's respectful, you know what I'm saying? We're doing new things here at Renee Box Young. I've been saying it for a long time. We're going to keep pushing that. Put why you think, why you want to watch this fight. I don't. I prefer Canelo versus Plant, undisputed 168. That's what I want to see. And I think it's horrible, man. And I reiterate this. Plant got to step up, man. Okay, so how's Plant going to look if this fight don't go down? Who's going to fight next, man? Another Ustakati name? Another, all due respect to those guys, another Mike Lee status? But Benavidez is going to fight Ustakati soon. What? Plant, if he doesn't fight Canelo, this is what I think is best for Plant, man. Because it's going to make him look bad anyway if he doesn't fight Canelo. Benavidez is going to go fight Ustakati. If Benavidez beats Ustakati, make the Benavidez Caleb Plant fight. Make that. That's great. That would be great for Plant too. That's a nice option. But I tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, if it's not one of these names, Plant's going to look bad out here. It's going to look bad out here, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? If it's not, Benavidez, because they have had that feud, and they're talking about also if it's not, you know what I'm saying? If it's not Plant, if this whole thing doesn't go through, then Canelo also has options to move up to 175. I'm sure you guys have been hearing that. 175 to fight Beterbiev or Bivol. Most likely it'll be Beterbiev. Joe Smith, it sounds like, might fight. Sounds like it's gonna fight Daniel Jacobs, that's a nice fight, man. I'm interested in that one. But so Canelo has options. That's what we're trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Canelo has options. If he doesn't fight Triple G, if Plant doesn't fight Canelo, and if he doesn't fight Triple G, he might move up to 175. Move up 75 and fight Beterbiev or Bivol. And I personally think he beats Beterbiev. I said this a while ago, man. I really don't know where it's coming from. A lot of people, or some people out there saying that, and they've been saying it for a minute. Oh, Beterbiev, smashes Canelo, and but I've been through the months analyzing it, researching Beterbiev, checking him out. Not necessarily his trajectory, but just watching him fight. You can say what you want about amateur career and this and that. This is professional boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I get it, man. Respect. They said it a gazillion times about Lomachenko. Didn't they? They said it a gazillion times about Lomachenko. Oh, about 400 amateur fights and this and that. Lost to Salido. Lost to Lomachenko. I'm sorry, to Teofimo. I'm not saying Lomachenko, it's over with him, but we got to stop the overhyping with the amateur career stuff, man. I'm sorry. That's just my humble opinion. If you think differently, that's fine. That's just my humble opinion. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? So, what I mean by I've done my research on Beterbiev, I started to watch more of his fights. I don't think Beterbiev beats Canelo, man. I just don't think so. And that leads to my next point I want to share with you guys. That's BoxingScene.com, the rankings, and I was just taking a look at that. But we'll go right here to Boxing Scene also, an article that they have right here concerning what Coach Virgil Hunter has to say, okay? And this is quite along the lines of what I've been thinking for a minute, you know what I'm saying? And I want to share this with you definitely, man. So let's get to it. So it says here, Virgil Hunter, no fighter at 168 or 175, has a sure shot of beating Canelo, and I agree. That kind of sums it up, and I definitely agree. But let's continue here and see what Virgil Hunter has to say. He says, he says Plant does bring some tools to the fight. Whether or not they are enough to hold Canelo off, it remains to be seen. Facts. Hunter, he said to Sky Sports, whatever. Plant will put up a better fight than Saunders because he is taller and more comfortable at that weight. It says here, if Canelo overcomes Plant, there is a realistic possibility that he'll return to the light heavyweight limit of 175 pounds. But we don't even know if that's going to happen, Canelo versus Plant. So, I mean, it says right here, he has so many options. It's difficult to find out. This is true, man. I agree. It is difficult to find one standout guy who would beat him. I would have him competitive in any fight, even light heavyweight against Bivol or Arthur Beterbiev. Beterbiev, and I totally agree with the coach, man. Beterbiev's age would give Canelo a chance. We all know the thing there with age, right? Bivol seems to fight at one pace. He doesn't take it to the next level. Yep. He hasn't been busy. Canelo has an advantage to call his own shots to stay busy. Although it can backfire stamina-wise in the Billy Joe Saunders fight, I felt that he started to tire before he landed that punch. Saunders' feints and antics were mentally getting to Canelo. Yeah, to a certain degree, I agree with that also, which subjected him to physical fatigue. If that punch hadn't have landed, it would have got a lot more interesting based on his fatigue. And I said it before, I personally think that what Billy Joe Saunders did was it was decent. It was decent. I mean, he was landing nice shots against Canelo. And that's the thing with Canelo. I mean, he fatigues, the stamina thing. So I agree. I definitely agree with the coach. We continue to read here. It says, but there is not a fighter at super middleweight or light heavyweight that has a sure shot of beating him. I definitely agree. But there are fighters you want him to compete with. Facts. David Benavidez, for example, is a strong guy. He won't back down with hand speed, height, and reach. So, I agree with the coach. Whether some people want to get over emotional, and try to defend some, that the point that Benavidez smashes him or this and that, Jermall Charlo smashes him or, I don't know, man. I agree with the coach. Links in the description in the articles we just saw. I definitely agree with the coach, and that's very along the lines of what I've been thinking lately for the past approximate 8 months. Because things change in the sport of boxing, man. Fighters, they evolutionize, they grow, they mature, they get better. You see differences, you see changes in their game. You see how they train throughout months, and it is, for example, Tank Davis. We see change in him. We see growth. We see more seriousness. You know what I mean? And things change. I made a video a while ago, and at that time I said that Ryan Garcia can possibly beat Tank. If Tank, and at that time Tank was not disciplined. But lately, as of since before the Leo Santa Cruz fight, when Tank started brushing up in his discipline and really focusing, and now Mario Barrios, and he's still disciplined and focused, things changed. Now my mind changed. Now, it is what it is. That's life. And I think that concerning Canelo, man, that even though I would rather see Canelo versus Plant, and I think this would be a more interesting bout, definitely. I think that Canelo beats Plant, man. I'm not saying that Plant's ducking here. I'm not saying, but I just don't dig the, Plant being quiet for a minute. And maybe it's because of that. Maybe Plant's quiet. I'm not knocking Plant. I'm just, maybe it is that PBC, because they're maybe he knows that PBC is trying to offer Canelo and oblige him to a 3-fight deal or whatever the heck, multi-fight deal for PBC, and Plant knows it, and he's like, hey, what can I do? I can't do anything about it. And maybe Plant's not talking about it for protocol, or for, not putting PBC in a bad light. You see what I'm saying? So we got to look at it from most angles possible. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it's not Plant's fault. Maybe Plant has his arms tied behind his back and he can't say nothing, and that's why he's so quiet. But all I'm saying is this. If Plant don't fight Canelo next, it's going to look bad, man. It's going to look bad. And if he doesn't fight Plant next, if Plant doesn't fight Canelo next, if Canelo fights Triple G is going to get smashed. Mark my words on that. Save this video. Go put it in your archives. You know. And Plant's next best thing, man, is to fight Benavidez after Benavidez if Benavidez beats Ustikati. It's always an if, right? Because if Plant's next opponent is some other mediocre name, it's not going to look good for Plant, ladies and gentlemen. That's my humble opinion as a boxing fan. You know. And I mean, I don't know. I'm getting frustrated to the point. It's like, come on now. What's going on with the sport of boxing sometimes? Not all the time. Not all the time. Enough is enough. Okay? I've talked about it recently, and I'm not the type of person to rant too much, but I got to say things sometimes. You know, Bud Spence, enough is enough. Didn't happen. Okay? Most likely it's not going to happen. And I said that a long time ago. If it even does happen, I talked about a time projection. I said maybe in 2022 or 2023 if it even does happen. You know. Wilder and Fury, I talked about that, how iffy I was about it. And when this Plant and Canelo stuff was announced, I know it wasn't official, but when it was announced, I said, I don't even know, I'm still iffy about that too. You know, enough is enough, man. And I really hope, man, if Plant doesn't fight Canelo, man, go fight Benavidez. Enough with this. You know what I'm saying? Man, Renee Boxing, man, thank you guys so much. Go ahead and comment in the comment section of the video. I appreciate each and every one of you. Once again, hit the notification bell, man, and tune in when I do my flash lives. We're just having a ball, and I really appreciate the subscribers, all the supporters. Go ahead and like it up, man. I definitely appreciate y'all. Stay safe. Renee Boxing, comment in the comment section. Go ahead and express your mind, man. Peace out, fam. Thanks.